Ryomen Sukuna, a man with 4 arms, 2 faces, of exceptional strength and speed. Sukuna, as described in the Nihongi, or Chronicles of Japan, was brought to the attention of the Emperor Nintoku for raiding the surrounding Hida province and capturing locals, all because he was strong. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Well, it shouldn't surprise you that this man was the name and basis for the Ryomen Sukuna of Jujutsu Kaisen, though based on the record in the Nihongi, he appears in the year 377, the 65th year of Emperor Nintoku's reign, some 400 years before the earliest days of the Heian period, of which the Sukuna of Jujutsu Kaisen lived. The end of this Ryomen Sukuna comes at the hands of a shogun, specifically Naniwa no Nekotake Furukuma, who is sent to Hida province to slay him, and considering he is mentioned no further during the reign of Nintoku, it can be assumed that this is where the strong Sukuna was finally bested. And for his Jujutsu Kaisen self, well, I'm not spoiling anything for the anime-only enjoyers out there, so let's skip it. Now, with a lot of things, in these early tellings of history, there's this blending of mythology and reality, and there's often little proof that there was a Ryomen Sukuna, or if it was a yokai title, almost like a boogeyman to be told in places. And outside of this account in the Nihongi, several other accounts of similar time period mention a Ryomen Sukuna, but they don't give much supplemental information about the man or men that bear that name. In Seki, which is now Gifu, which is the modern-day prefecture that holds the aforementioned Hida, there are local stories of the Ryomen Sukuna being a pillager, but also a benevolent hero, a figure that not only slayed a poisonous serpent that emerged to harm the city, but also built a temple, the Nichi Ryubuji temple, in fact, where a statue of him is enshrined. And this is pure speculation on my part. But if there was a real Ryomen Sukuna that inspired the one from the Nihongi and local legends, he was probably a local of the Hida area, and a wealthy one at that. And likewise, he defied the emperor and was slain. And as so often with history, to further the accomplishments there was some embellishment, making the man a monster, and felling him as a show of strength of the emperor. But that's a lot to extrapolate from a text that is nearly 1,300 years old, and the surrounding local legends that date back probably even further. Now the direct dialogue from the Nihongi. 65th year. There was a man in Hida province, called Sukuna. His body had 2 faces, which faced opposite directions, and came together at the top of his head. And he had no back of the head. Each had its own arms and legs, and he had thighs, but no back of the knees or heels. He had a lot of power, but was light and fast, and he can hold a sword in both right and left hands, and use all 4 hands with a bow at the same time. He was insubordinate to the emperor, and regularly captured and stole from the populace for his amusement. The emperor dispatched the ancestor of Omi of Wani, Naniwa no Nekotake Furukuma, to put him to death.